In this video, I will show you the full process from installing your TX wallet to setting up your Masternode on a VPS. So this video is intended for beginners and new members to the crypto world. If you already know how to do any of the steps in the video, I'll make it easy for you to fast forward by providing the timestamps in the video description. You will also find a full written version of this tutorial with links available in the description and also on txproject.io. So I hope this video helps you on your new path with TX. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing you must do is port forward. Now, you may not have the same router modem as I do, but if you have a look on the actual modem itself or the router and you find the model number, you can Google it and it will normally show you how to port forward. So the way that you do it is through your browser, and you can see I have this number up here. Now you can find out this number just by coming down to your start menu and typing in CMD, and that will bring up your command window, and then all you have to type in here is ipconfig. Okay, and then if you scroll up, you will see your IPv4 address, okay, and you can see this is the one here. Now I've got a slightly different one, but this will actually work as well. So this is the one that you will use, but if it doesn't work, remember just to Google it and you will be able to find how to actually port forward with your specific modem router. Okay, so once you are logged in to your modem, you will need to find the firewall, and in the firewall settings it will actually show you that you can port forward. Now my particular modem is an Address, and the way that you find the port forwarding option is you come to firewall, and then once you're in firewall you can see virtual servers port forwarding. Okay, so it will be pretty much the same with every modem, the same sort of principle, so it shouldn't be too hard to find. And you can see here that I already have it set up. Okay, so I've actually done Transfercoin, and you can see that I have an inbound port of 17170, and that is the actual port that you need to port forward for inbound and outbound. Okay, I have actually got a range in here, but you don't need to do this. So the way that you do it, it's pretty simple, is you'll just add a description, call it Transfercoin. I'll just call this TX. Your inbound port will be 17170, and you could also do 17170 or even 1 at the end like that. Now this TCP, you can use just TCP or you can choose both. Okay, you can see up here I have both, but you can actually just choose TCP. Now your private IP address is the one that I just showed you that you can get from your ipconfig. Okay, so if we come back here and I just type this in again, just so I show you, and then ipconfig. Okay, so this is the one that you will use, is your IPv4 address. Okay, so this here is what you'll put in here. Okay, so this is 192.168.0.12, so that's what you would put in here. Okay, and then your local port 2 is the same as your inbound. Okay, so this would be 171.70, and then if you change this to 1, then you would put the same down here, 17171. Just like that. Okay, and then you'll add it, and that's it. So that's for that part. Now you may need to add the same in port triggers. This is only with some. You can see I have a couple in here. All right, I've added mine in here, but this may not be necessary. You may only need to just add it on the port forwarding side of things. Okay, so that's the port forwarding. In the next step, step 2, we will look at installing and syncing our TX wallet. Okay, so the first thing you'll need to do is navigate to txproject.io. Then once you're on this page, click on Wallets, and depending on what operating system you have, I have Windows, so I would click on this and download the Qt, and also download the backup blockchain. Now this will help us sync the wallet a lot faster. So I have those already downloaded onto my desktop. So I have the Qt here, and this is the backup blockchain. So all you'll need to do is you'll need to extract these using a unzip program. So I use WinRAR, but there is WinZip and also 7-zip. And you can find versions for these for your Mac as well if you're using a Mac. Okay, so you'll just extract here, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to replace these files into the transfer installation directory. Okay, so now we have these extracted. We're going to double click on our Qt. Okay, now we just need to run this first so that it actually creates the installation folder. Once we have the installation folder created, we can then close the wallet and then delete the files that we need to and replace them with the ones we just downloaded. Okay, so at the moment it's just creating the new wallet and creating all the other files, so it won't take a second. Now you can see, if you look down here, you can see we are 1 year and 41 weeks behind. Okay, so now if we were just to do this, this would actually take quite a while to sync, and it could even take days. I'm not too sure exactly how long it will take, but it will take a while. So this is the reason why we are going to replace the files. So now that we have opened it, we have created the directory. So let's close the wallet now. Now, if you're on Windows, you can find the directory simply by going to your Start menu and typing in percentage app data and then percentage again. And you can see I already have it in the cache here, but if we open this, you can see that this is the actual directory. Okay, so obviously your username will be different, but that's the directory. Now, if you can't see this, that is because you have files hidden. So you will need to actually come to here and then folder and search options. Okay, and then click on view, and then you can see down here hidden files and folders. Okay, so you'll need to make sure that you have show hidden files, folders and drives selected. Okay, and that will allow you to access your app data folder. Okay, so now on a Mac, to find the transfer folder, you will need to open Finder, then click on Go, and then hold down your Alt key and the library will appear, and then click on Library Application Support and you'll see the transfer folder. Okay, so once we have this, let me just move this over, and then I'll open up the folder that we just downloaded and extracted. Okay, just move this over to the side a bit here, just to here. Okay, so now you can see that we have these two files. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to delete the ones that we have in our transfer folder. Okay, so we've got this one here, and we've also got the blockchain backup. Okay, so we're going to delete that, and then we're going to take the ones that we've just downloaded and we're going to drag them across and then into there. Okay, so we can close this and we can minimize this now. Okay, so now let's try and open the Qt again and see what happens. So I'll open that up, and it'll take a second just to load it. Okay, now that we have this open, you can see this is syncing very fast. It's only a few hours and there you go, it's done. Okay, so it's that quick. So it's definitely worth it to do this method. when installing your wallet for the first time, your transfer wallet. Okay, so in the next step, we're going to look at creating the address we need for the Masternode. Okay, the first thing we need to do is come up to the Help tab, and then Debug Window, and then Console. In here, we need to type Masternode, and then space, and then Gen key, and then hit Enter, okay? Then double click on this, and we'll copy that and we'll paste it into our notepad, okay? Now, next we need to get the account, create the account address. So if we type in get account address and then space, and then we're going to give it the name that we want to call the actual address. So in this case, I'm going to call it Masternode _01, okay? And then hit enter, and then double click this, and this is where we're going to send the 10K to. Okay, so let's move that across, and I'll just paste that in here. Okay, so we can close this. Now if we come to the Receive tab, you can actually see here it is. Here is our new address, and this is what we need to send the 10K to. Okay, so in this next step, I'll show you how to send 10K from Bittrex. Okay, so the first thing you do is come up and right click and copy this address. And this is the address here, and we'll just go to our Bittrex account, and if we come up to markets and just to the search and just type in TX and click on TX here. Okay, so now we have our wallet. We'll click on our wallet here, and over in the address, what we need to do is we need to send exactly 10K. Okay, so we'll just paste in our address, and then down here we'll just put in 10. I've already got it in cache. Now you can see I've got the 02 here. Okay, so this is the fee. We need to send exactly 10,000. Okay, exactly. It can't be under or over. So you need to allow this fee. All right. So we'll just make sure, we'll just check this address. I always check the first two and the last two letters to make sure that it matches. Okay, and it does. You can see here, always double check before you send anything. And then click on withdraw. Okay, so I've got 2FA, so I'll just get my code here off my iPad mini. And 237 585. Okay, and then just click on confirm. Okay, you can see it's withdrawing up here. It'll take a second to go through. Okay, I'll minimize that. I'll just bring up the wallet and just come to the dashboard, and it will take a few seconds, but it usually comes through pretty quick. And here it is. Okay, so now you can see it's arrived. Okay, pop up down here, and if we just highlight over it, you can see that it has no confirmation. So we need at least one before we can get the transaction ID. Okay, so now if we roll over this, you can see we've got two confirmations. So now if we come to help, debug window, and then just type in here Masternode, and then space, and then outputs, and click enter. So this long one is the actual transaction ID, so we'll just double click on that, then copy it and put it over here under transaction ID, TXID. And you can see this little 0, this is the index ID, okay? So we need this as well. So I'll just type that over here. Okay, just close this. Okay, so in this next part of the video, I will show you how to purchase a VPS. Okay, so if you navigate to ovh.com US, you'll see this page, and then if you navigate down and just select the center option here, okay, and then just select the option here on the left, and then again the option on the left here. Okay, so we just need to come down here and just change the version to Debian 7 Wheezy, okay, and leave everything else as it is, and then just click on continue. It'll take a second just to get the order together. Okay, so just click on continue again. Now here is where you'll actually need to create an account. Okay, so just create your account and just pay for it, and then you'll be sent an email with all the details about your VPS. And in the next video, we'll look at installing the wallet on the VPS. Okay, so as you can see here, this is an email that I have been sent from after I purchased the VPS. Okay, so all you need here is you need the IPv4 address. Okay, just copy that into your notepad like you can see I've done over here. I've actually got the port there, but don't worry about that for now. And also the password, okay? Just make sure you got the password and put that into your notepad as well. Now the username will always be root, okay? So we've got that in our notepad. Now what you need to do is you need to get a program called PuTTY. Now this is for Windows. If you're on a Mac, you can use your default terminal, okay? So navigate to putty.org and then click on here, and then you'll just need to download your version. I've got the 64-bit, I've got a 64-bit system, so that's what I've downloaded. Okay, so let me just drag this across to the screen here. Okay, and I'm just going to get my notepad up again that I have my details on. All right, now I also have this, let me just paste it in. Now this is all we're going to need for the script down here, okay? So the first thing we do is we double click on the PuTTY and it will bring up this window. Now all we need to put in here is the IP address for the VPS, okay, which we got in our email, which is just this one right here. Okay, now put that in and then click on open. You'll get a warning. Let me just move this across. Don't worry about the warning, just go yes. Okay, let me just drag this across here. Okay, now log in as. Now user is always going to be root, so R-O-O-T. Okay. Now we need a password and we've got it here. So the best way to do this is to copy it and then left click and then right click on your mouse. Now you won't see anything in the actual terminal, but the password is there, okay? Now just hit enter, okay? Now we're ready to go. Now all we need to do is, I'll leave this in the description, okay? Copy this first line, left click, right click, hit enter, okay? Next line, copy this one, copy it, left click, right click, enter, okay? And now the setup. Now make sure you get the little dot in the front there, okay? It's important that you get that. And just copy that, left click, right click, and then hit enter. Now it will start installing it, and it's going to ask you for a few things, and when we get to them I'll explain what they are. So this might take a little while, so I'm just going to pause the video and then I'll come back when we can carry on. Okay, so it does take a while before it installs all this, and then once it does get to this stage, you'll see it'll say this. Okay, so you just need to enter a password. Now you can use the one up here, the random one, but I'm just going to type in something real basic. Don't use special characters. Okay, otherwise you'll have problems. Okay, so and then just click on enter, and now it's going to ask for your IP address. Now you can see here's the IP address right here. You can either just use that as a reference, or we also have it from when we received our email, which is just this. Don't include the port. Okay, so just left click, right click, and then enter. Okay, and now we just need our gen key, which is our Masternode gen key that we generated in the beginning. So I'll just grab that and copy it, left click, right click, and enter. Okay, so now what it's going to do is it's going to actually download the backup blockchain that I upload daily. Okay, so you can see it's on 2%. When it gets through to 100%, I will come back. So I'll pause the video right now and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so now it is extracting it. Okay, so we're just about there. You can see it's extracting everything. And what this is basically doing is updating the blockchain. Okay, so now it says hold your horses for 60 seconds while blockchain updates. Transfer server starting. Okay. So once this has just finally completed this last phase, the last step we need to do is to actually create the Masternode in our transfer wallet. Okay, so I think we're just about there. Okay, now, okay, so we are good to go. So in this next and last step, we will create the Masternode in our transfer wallet. Okay, so if you still had your command window from PuTTY open, you can close that. So here I have the wallet open, okay, and it's synced. So what we need to do now is create the actual Masternode, and then we can start the VPS from our wallet. Okay, so if we come down to Masternodes and then just click on create. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to give it a name. Now, if you remember, I actually called the address Masternode _01. Okay, so that's what I'm going to call this, just to keep everything in order. Okay, now the address is our VPS IP address, okay, with the actual port, okay, that we need to talk to the transfer nodes, okay, the server. So make sure that you have the port in there. So it's just the, I've shown you before, but it's just the semicolon, the colon, and then the port, okay. Now the private key, that is our Masternode gen key, okay. So we just copy that, and you can actually just click on here to paste it in there. Now your TX hash is your transaction ID, okay. So we'll just copy that and then paste it in here. Now your output index is just that single digit, okay. So I've got 0 there. So put 0 in there and then click OK. Now nothing will actually show up here for a few seconds. It will take a few seconds to show up, okay. And then once it shows up, all we need to do then is to start it, okay. So it will show up. Here it is now, okay. Now just highlight it and just come down to start and click on start. Now if everything is in order, we should get a nice message. So we'll click on start. Okay, successfully started Masternode. Okay, now if we click OK, now if we go to the actual transfer network, and I'll just wait for this to load. Let's have a look. And here we go. Here it is here. Now, be warned that it can take a while before this will actually show any time on here. Sometimes it can take up to an hour, okay, before this will change. But if it does change, that means you are successful. If it doesn't, then you can always contact me in the Slack channel and I can help you further. But that should get you up and running, and I hope you enjoy your Masternode and enjoy the rewards. Be sure to subscribe, and if you like this video, give it a thumbs up